Hello everyone, welcome back to the Geek Speak Geek podcast. We are your hosts, Movie Master Mike.
And Tabletop Tim.
And we are back and better than ever with week 8 of our podcast. And this is the only podcast where we talk movies and board games all in one podcast. And this, we took a little break.
Yeah.
I went on vacation and I was switching jobs, so my days off just got all out of whack and everything. So we haven't had a chance to get together for one of these, but we are back.
Yeah, we both had a couple career changes. I haven't had a career change. I just had a bit of an adjustment. I've taken a side job.
Yes.
Delivering pizzas.
Yep. Well,
yeah.
It's easy money, right?
It's money.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You know, I just want to get into this real quick. Delivering pizzas, you know, it's a tip job, right?
Right.
There's a vicious stereotype out there, and I think I'm going to feed into this. And I don't want to be racist or anything, but students are awful tippers.
Yeah.
I delivered to the college a lot. We live by the U of A.
Yep.
You know, you deliver a $40 thing to all these fucking yahoos, and you know, you get a dollar tip. Like they don't understand at all.
Yeah.
And you know, if you're working a tip job, you're working below minimum wage.
Yes.
Pizza delivery guys work below minimum wage.
Yep.
And you know, for the most part, I do all right, but these fucking students, man. The only thing that makes it worth going down to the university is the girls.
I can
Girls
imagine.
are amazing. I don't know what it was, but the other Saturday, I went down there, and they were having like a pool party or some kind of beach-themed party. There was girls in bathing suits all over the place. Just nubile college girls in tiny college girl bathing suits.
Nice.
I wanted to give them a tip.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, well, at least it's, you got that going. You know,
Yeah.
we got the eye candy of the U of A, which kind of sucks because summer is on the cusp, which means a lot of the students are leaving.
But that'll be good. I won't have to fucking deal with them not tipping me.
Right.
Spend time with normal Tucsonans.
Right. But the other good part is, you know, it's just a little bit extra cash. You can buy a board game every week.
Amen.
Yep.
That's one of the plans.
Yeah. But anyway, let's get into the movie news.
Let's do it.
First off, Alden Ehrenreich. I don't know how to say his name.
Sounds perfect.
I think
you nailed it.
He has been cast as young Han Solo.
Oh, okay.
I remember a while ago they gave a short list of like 8 actors who were potential candidates to play young Han Solo, and they landed on Mr. Alden. And he's been in Beautiful Creatures, Hail Caesar, Stoker, Blue Jasmine, Running Wild, lots of things. And now he's going to be in the untitled Han Solo Star Wars anthology story film.
He looks familiar. I don't know him right off the bat.
Yeah, he was in Supernatural, Ben Collins. I'll have to go back. Oh, wow, that was one of the early episodes. Wow. He was in season 1 of Supernatural, The Wendigo. Okay. That's where I know him from. He was in a movie called Teenage Maple Leaves.
I must recognize him from Blue Jasmine, because I think that's the only thing I've seen that you've mentioned. Did you see Blue Jasmine?
I haven't. I really want to, because
what an amazing movie.
I love Cate Blanchett. She's my favorite actress. So
And she kills it in this one.
I've seen
she's heartbreaking.
like a behind the scenes thing, and it just looks phenomenal. It really does. But yeah, so Alden Ehrenreich, I think is how you say it. He'll be young Han Solo, which this picture on IMDb, he doesn't really look like Han Solo, but I'm sure he'll do just fine. Right there, he looks more like him.
Yeah, I can't speak much to his acting, but yeah, we'll see. We'll just have to see, I guess.
Yeah, I'm sure, you know, Disney can do anything that they want with as much money as they want.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they picked him for a reason. So we got to believe in them. Even though Episode 7 was super fun and energetic, it brought me down knowing that like they just remade Star Wars, you know. But the energy and stuff that they put into the movie, you know that they care. You know, they tried the best that they could. So, and Rogue One just looks super cool.
Yeah, that preview was cool.
Yeah, so I mean, they just you got to believe in what they're doing. You know?
Why not?
Yeah, so I'll go with it. I'll go with Mr. Alden Ehrenreich is what I'm going to call him. Ehrenreich.
Einreich.
Einreich. Yeah, I bet he doesn't like that.
Shut up and act.
All right, well, next on the movie news list that I have, I know you don't care from like week 1 of our podcast, but the Power Rangers movie that's coming out soon. I think it's either later this year, maybe next year. I can't remember, but we finally have a look at their outfits as the Power Rangers. We have all 5, the original colors, the red, blue, pink, yellow, and black, and I think they look fucking stupid.
Well, they look like Power Rangers.
Yeah,
so
but
maybe that's one and the same.
But they look like Power Rangers done by Tony Stark or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
like the Iron Rangers.
Yeah. Yeah, they looked way too mechanical and like it's too much armor. And I don't know. It just doesn't look good. I liked...
The classic kind of spandex.
Yeah,
spandex
yeah. And
look.
I think this screenshot that we're looking at now is from the movie. So they thickened up the suit a little bit. It's not just straight up spandex. It's it's a little thicker, but yeah, these new suits, I don't know. Is
this new one going to be an American-made film, or is it going to be...
Yeah, it's a totally American-made film.
Well, that makes sense. Americans like their armor. And,
yeah, that's true.
They look very Americanized.
Yep.
As compared to the original...
the
straight up Japanese television show, wasn't it?
Yeah. Anytime it was the American Kids, that was all filmed in America, but anytime they were the actual Power Rangers, it was all stock footage from a Japanese show.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Which is really weird to me. Like, it's like, really? That they just edited, like, basically 2 shows together to form one? Like, it was really weird.
To form one super profitable television show.
No shit.
Hell yeah.
And a couple weeks ago, we got our first look at Rita Repulsa, who was the main bad guy of the TV show. And,
she looks like Poison Ivy.
Yeah, she looks way more like Poison Ivy than anything else. And now there's this rumor going around, because she's green and gold, that she's going to be the Green Ranger. But I don't know. I think that's stretching a little bit. Maybe.
She's pretty hot.
Yeah, she looks great. I forget who's playing her. Elizabeth Banks.
That name is so familiar.
Yeah, she was in...
why don't I know?
she was in like the 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Yes, I'm an idiot.
Yeah. She's actually a pretty good director now, too.
Oh, really? What has she directed?
She has directed... she directed 7 things. Pitch Perfect 3, Pitch Perfect 2... Movie 43, Just a Little Heart Attack, The Greater Good, Charlie's Angels, which is coming out, or it's been announced. The Greater Good, Charlie's Angels, and Pitch Perfect 3 have all been announced. Yeah, she's getting her feet wet with the directing thing, and
AIDS, we did it. That's something she's directed.
Yeah, and I've not seen any of these movies, but I've actually heard good things about Pitch Perfect 2. But yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah, that's who's playing Rita Repulsa is Elizabeth Banks.
Yeah, she looks good.
Yeah, she does. She looks real good. Which I remember in the original show, but I was a kid and I loved it. You know, she made Tommy into the original Green Ranger, who was like a bad guy, and then he turned good and became like the leader of the team.
Right.
So I mean, they could be turning that instead of her making somebody else the Green Ranger. Maybe she was the Green Ranger and she went evil or something. So I mean, it could be there could be a Green Ranger tie because she is all green and gold, but who knows. Other than that, not a whole lot of movie news, just lots of new previews and stills and all stuff for the new movies that are coming out, like X-Men. And as of this recording, Captain America came out last night. This is Saturday morning, and neither of us have seen it. We're going to be watching it on Monday and Tuesday, and when we reconvene next week, we'll be talking about it. And so this week we changed it up. We're each going to do a small movie review since we watched 2 different movies this week. And let's get right into that because I don't, unless you have anything else movie news related.
Absolutely not.
All right. So do you want to go first or me?
It doesn't matter.
All right, I'll go first.
Sounds good.
I saw a new movie. It was a movie that was on my 5 most anticipated movie lists of the year. It was The Jungle Book. I saw it a couple weeks ago, and it was awesome. It was really good. There was a few things I really didn't like. Bill Murray as Baloo didn't quite get me.
Right.
I was never into that. I mean, he did a fine job for what he did, but I just didn't really like what they did and what he did.
That was directed by Jon Favreau, right?
It was directed by Jon Favreau. The cast list was...
Well, we know he's good with special effects-based
movies.
cinema.
Yeah, he is. That was somewhat to do with the animation, too. Like, the animation on the cat looked really good, but the facial features didn't change enough with the emotions. So even if Ben Kingsley was doing a good job acting, the animation didn't suit it. So
You know, Ben Kingsley can act well.
yeah,
I don't think he does all the time. I don't
No.
think he's the acting god that some people make him out to be.
I don't think so either. I'm right
I
there
think
with
he's
you.
just a working actor, and sometimes he phones it in.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. Scarlett Johansson did a great job as Ka.
right? Christopher Walken.
Oh,
with,
Christopher Walken.
King Louis, yeah.
He did a great job when he was just being King Louis, but this was the worst part of the movie.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, like when you get introduced to him, it's really cool and pretty menacing. Like he's kind of in shadow, he's just sitting there and he's a monster. He's huge, he's like 50 feet tall, it's crazy. And then he's just kind of being like kind of menacing and dark, but then he literally breaks into song.
Oh,
But his singing's not the greatest,
yeah.
right? And the character is literally just sitting there. He's just this giant thing just sitting there singing, and like it's really awkward.
Right.
And
That sounds awful.
yeah, it was really bad. And like they even changed some of the words of the song from the original 1967 cartoon. They use the original lyrics, but then they add some, and it was really bad.
So it's based off the animated film that Disney made.
Yeah, it's
that
not
was based on a book.
right.
That's so fucking weird.
Yeah. So they didn't just remake like the book or anything. Like I remember in like 1994, Disney released a live action movie, but it wasn't anything
Right.
like the cartoon. They used like real animals, and like it was almost like Tarzan, where he like joins
Right.
the people and learns to speak and stuff like that.
Yeah, I remember not watching that. Also.
But yeah, this one was a straight up remake of the cartoon.
That's so weird. That's
Yeah.
such a weird decision.
Yeah, well, I think Disney's doing that. Like they did Cinderella last year with the guy from Game of Thrones who played Robb Stark.
Oh yeah.
Something Madden is his name, like James Madden, I think. But then the year before that, they did Maleficent. They kind of did like a backstory on her.
Oh man.
But they used like the cartoon version, not just like let's take this character
Yeah.
from a book, and so I think that's what they're doing. They're turning their cartoons into live action. But yeah, when King Louis started singing, it was really bad, really out of place. Because like a lot of the movie was like not like super cartoony, but not like super serious. It was like right in that line.
Okay.
But that just went like way cartoony. It was just completely out of place,
Mm.
and it was really bad. And then right after that, Baloo and Bagheera come in to take Mowgli back, and they pull like a. It reminded me of the Desolation of Smog, where Bilbo's kind of distracting Smog into not really realizing what's happening, like because he's stealing from him.
Right.
It was that like Baloo was distracting King Louis by saying like, "Oh, great King Louis," like.
And he's stealing Mowgli.
Yeah, and Bagheera's off stealing Mowgli, and then they realize what's happening, and then it turns into the chase scene from Desolation of Smog, where the giant Smog, the giant King Louis is chasing Mowgli
Instead of
through,
a dragon,
and
it's a monkey.
yeah, and he's breaking everything, and it was well done, but it was just like, wow, this is just like Desolation of Smog.
Yeah.
But the CG was incredible. There was only the two songs in the movie, King Louis' song and then Baloo singing The Bare Necessities.
Bare necessities.
And that one was more organic. It went into it a little more naturally and went out of it real quick. They didn't spend a whole lot of time on it, and it was just them hanging out singing while they're rolling down the river. Like it wasn't that bad.
Cool.
But the King Louis one was really bad. But other than the King Louis thing, I think everything worked. One of my favorite parts, like Kala didn't sing her song. She said a few lines from it, but that was it. She sings the song at the end of the movie during the credits, so you got to hear the song, but Scarlett Johansson
And
did
which
that.
character is Ka? Is that
The snake.
The snake?
Yeah.
Okay.
And because in the original cartoon, it's voiced by the guy who does Winnie the Pooh.
Oh.
So Winnie the Pooh is singing a song to Mowgli. It's really weird. But the opening of the movie is one of my favorite things because I love the music in the original, like the background music, like real jungly, like it's super cool. But the beginning of this movie, instead of the normal Disney logo, which it starts off, the camera's like over some village, and it goes up over the castle. You see the waving flag, and it goes in front of the castle, and there's a river going through the castle, and like that's it. It did that exact thing, but it was way more cartoon looking.
Okay.
It wasn't as like we're trying to make this castle look as real as possible. It was like, wow, that looks really weird, but kind of cool. And then the camera continued to go downstream, and then all of a sudden everything starts turning into jungle as you're passing by. And then you start hearing the original music from the original opening credits from the cartoon. It was super cool. I loved it so much. And then it goes off into the movie. And they change a whole lot from the movie. Shere Khan's a bigger deal. The wolves, his wolf pack is a much bigger deal. You actually see the Man Village a bit more. There's a backstory with his actual father and this big thing, but it was really good. Shere Khan was super cool. The animation on him was awesome. And Idris Elba fucking rocked it.
Yeah.
He was so good. It was amazing.
That guy's amazing.
Yeah, he really is.
He turns everything into gold. That guy's an acting genius.
Yes, he is.
I think he'll run circles around Ben Kingsley.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, like I said, Ben Kingsley did an alright job. At some points he was really good, at some points he was kind of bland. But also the animation, like, he looked real, the animals looked real, but they didn't change his face enough. Like, when he got mad, like, his face didn't change and stuff, so. Yeah, and then like, they changed Baloo's character, like, a lot. He was, like, kind of like an idiot. You know, instead of like just this guy that like, you know, he's like singing and dancing and he was just having a good time.
Just a chill dude.
Yeah, instead of just like he's like I love jazz and just singing, like he was just kind of like this goofball idiot. Like yeah. But overall, I liked it. I'm definitely gonna buy it when it comes out. So I didn't like it nearly as much as Zootopia. Zootopia was still probably the best movie I've seen all year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen many other movies this year. So Zootopia is still number one.
All right.
Yeah. All right, what movie do you have to talk about today?
Well, I want to talk about Bone Tomahawk.
Bone Tomahawk.
I was relatively interested in seeing this film. I had heard a couple things about it from other like film podcasts.
I have both Netflix and Amazon Prime, but it's only on our iPad, the Amazon Prime. And
that sounds like a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I mean, it's not so bad when you're laying in bed, you know, just looking at that, you know.
You ever watch it and like drop it on your face while you're watching something?
No, I'll drop it like on my chest and stuff,
okay.
But
never my tablet right on my face. Just.
But I've seen this movie because I was looking up Western, and so I was like, oh, this one looks good, but I decided on something else, and then I fell asleep. Yeah,
you asked me if it was on Netflix, and I said no, and I didn't realize it was on Amazon Prime because I have Amazon Prime, but I don't spend any time watching it. Maybe I should. Bone Tomahawk was on it, but this is a weird movie. It came out of nowhere. It's got an amazing cast. It's got Kurt Russell. Obviously, I think everyone knows who Kurt Russell is. It's got Patrick Wilson. You've seen him in a dozen things. You might not know his name right off the bat, but he was like the Night Owl in The Watchmen. He was the child molester in Hard Candy. He's been in many things. You got Matthew Fox. He was in like Party of Five and a couple other things.
Lost.
Oh, Lost, of course.
That's where I know him.
That's where you know him from, yeah. Richard Jenkins, character actor. You've seen him in a million things.
Oh, yeah.
My favorite role of his, besides this one now, was he was one of the scientists in Cabin in the Woods.
Right.
He was a father in Step Brothers. And he just kills them in this film. You got a couple other people like Lily Simmons. You get to see her naked in True Detective. The film opens with David Arquette and Sid Haig. Sid Haig is the clown from the House of a Thousand Corpses films, the Rob Zombie films.
Oh yeah.
The gnarly film.
Yep.
So basically, it's a western, but it's more of an acting film. It comes off like a play, and every actor gets time to chew the scenery and really work with what they have. It's really crazy good acting, everyone. And like I said, it starts with David Arquette, and they're just acting up a storm. It's based in a small western town, and David Arquette and, what did I say his name was? The Sid Haig character, they disturb an ancient burial ground.
Nice.
On their way to this town, after they set upon a small group of travelers. They kill these travelers and rob them. And they make their way to the town. And Kurt Russell plays the sheriff of the town. And David Arquette hides the goods they stole. And he goes into town to get a drink. Kurt Russell, comes upon him in the bar, asks him what he's doing there. And one thing leads to another. And David Arquette ends up getting shot. So they call in the town doctor, which is Lily Simmons, and while all this is happening, she gets kidnapped. So Patrick Wilson plays her husband, and he asks Kurt Russell, Matthew Fox, and Richard Jenkins, who plays the deputy of Kurt Russell, to help them find his wife. And then they go off into the wilderness and they have an adventure searching for his wife. She was kidnapped by some cannibalistic Indians.
Nice.
And they kind of get into that story. But like I said, it's just it's kind of a road movie, an old Western road movie, and it's them just tracking down these Indians, and they're giving great lines. And Patrick Wilson, he starts the film with a broken leg. I guess he fell off a horse or something, and so he's making this trek with his broken leg. So that's a constant conundrum they're dealing with, and it just creates some great drama, some great acting. He's in a lot of pain, but he's trying to go and rescue his wife.
Nice.
Richard Jenkins is probably my favorite character in this film. He's like the lovable goof, but he's very honorable and forthright, and he is the silly right hand of Kurt Russell. Like he's always there to back him up.
He's the deputy?
Yeah, he's the deputy. He plays this like old, very old deputy.
Nice. It's great to see Kurt Russell in another Western.
Yeah, I saw The Hateful Eight not too long ago, which is kind of why I really wanted to see this one. And I think I love The Hateful Eight. Hateful Eight was an amazing film, but I think I like this one even better.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, one flaw in the film, it's shot in this weird handheld. It almost looks like it was filmed with an iPhone. Like there's a lot of a handheld feel to it.
Okay.
And it doesn't help anything. It really makes it feel cheaper than it really is.
Okay.
It was just, I don't know, a stylistic choice by the director, I guess.
It was directed by S. Craig Zahler.
Yeah, I have no idea.
He also wrote it. I love Westerns, so like I said, I was looking up Westerns to watch on Amazon to fall asleep to. So I definitely will check this movie out because, Kurt Russell in a Western obviously is awesome.
Yeah, this is only the second film he's directed. He's written a couple things, it looks like, and his writing is really good in this film. But like I said, it looks shitty. The handheld feel just, I don't know what he was going for. That really feels like a modern tactic, and I think a Western should be filmed a little more classically.
Yeah, me too.
A little more by the book, but whatever. It didn't take too much away from the film for me. Another thing that might bother some people is the last core of the film is very gruesome.
Really?
It is some of the most gruesome gore I've ever seen displayed on film.
Wow.
It is fucking brutal. Really brutal.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. And
more so than like the Saw movies and stuff?
Yeah, because it's so shocking and almost kind of realistic, Right. It's like getting sucker punched. You're going through the film, you're getting this awesome stew of acting excellence, and then this hideous violence comes out of nowhere and just jacks you right in the jaw. It is very jarring. But other than that, it's an excellent film.
All right,
and,
yeah.
I cannot recommend it enough.
Cool, yeah.
Bone Tomahawk.
I'll definitely check out Bone Tomahawk. I like the cast, like I said, Kurt Russell in a Western, awesome, because Tombstone's like the best Western ever. I love Matthew Fox. I know Patrick Wilson and Richard Jenkins, Sid Haig, so it's a very familiar cast to me, so...
Right.
So yeah, I'll definitely check it out, because I actually wanted to, I clicked something else instead, and now I absolutely regret that.
Yeah, and it's very minimalistic. Like it's really like almost limited storytelling, where it's just actors and a setting, like a Western setting. They're not
like out the campsite and
yeah,
stuff.
Just out in the desert. It's not even like a set like at The Hateful Eight, where you had some things to work off, like a bar or a chair or things like that. It's just a fucking desert and actors. That's it.
Cool. Yeah, I know. Way back in like I want to say the 20s and stuff, the 30s, probably the 20s. John Ford, famous for his westerns way back when. Mm-hmm. Like they just get some money from the studio, get some actors and stuff, just drive out into the desert for 20 miles from LA and film a movie. Silent movies back in the 20s, but they just, things were constantly changing. But that's what they did. Let's just go out in the desert and film.
Right.
So it's cool that they're just out in the desert making this movie.
Yeah, it's really back to basics kind of filmmaking, and it was very kind of reinvigorating, I would say.
Nice, super cool. I love westerns. I really do. Just looking at this, I'm like, oh, okay, so Kurt Russell could be like the John Wayne character, and
Yeah, he is. He's the badass sheriff, very confident.
And you said that Richard Jenkins played like his older but like kind of goofy sidekick.
Yeah, he's like the sidekick deputy.
Right, and that's just like a character from a lot of John Wayne movies. Walter Brennan, I think, is the actor's name.
Mm-hmm.
He was in. He had fake teeth, like so. When he'd take him out, he had like this whistle talk. If you heard it, you totally recognize it. But so you were just explaining, like, oh man, that sounds just like a John Wayne movie. So,
right.
So yeah, now I'm even more excited to watch it.
It's probably taking a lot from. It's probably borrowing a lot from that John Ford stuff.
Yeah.
Is it Robert Ford or John Ford?
John Ford.
John Ford stuff.
Yeah. Well, very cool, man. And now I'm definitely gonna watch this movie as soon as I can. I tried watching it last night, but the room that we're sleeping in, the Wi-Fi just doesn't reach over there.
Right.
So I just couldn't, and I was way too tired to get up and move. So, but I will
know
definitely.
the feeling.
Yeah, but I'll definitely watch it.
Kind of feeling that right now.
All right. Well, that was our spotlights on movies. We did two short little reviews on these two movies, two very different movies.
Absolutely.
One was pretty much 90% CG, and one was 100% real. So.
Yeah, two different films of the spectrum.
Yes, very different. All right, now it's time for the board game news.
One thing I'm excited about is I can't remember the name of the company, but they've recently released Pathfinder: The Adventure card game on Android and iOS devices.
Okay.
So it's a card game, and they've adapted it for mobile gaming. It's a really excellent game. It's really fun. It's a good solo game.
Really, you can play it by yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a co-op adventure game. It's a pretty decent campaign. Like I said, you can play it on your own if you want. You can incorporate other characters. It's got a great classic. Well, if anyone knows the Pathfinder role-playing system, it's got all those characters and classes in it. Otherwise, it's just your classic fantasy role-playing. You got your magic users and your warriors and your dwarves and your elves and so on and so forth. But it's a really interesting mechanic that you build your characters up as you go, and your stats improve as you go. So it's actually a campaign-based card game. It's just a lot of fun, and I think if you're just getting into board gaming or something and you don't have anyone to play with, it's a lot cheaper to get this on your mobile device and check it out.
That's cool. It's cool that you can play it on your phone or whatever.
Yeah,
now.
there's actually a lot
Right.
of board game apps nowadays. It's really turning into a big market.
I think that's weird. I mean, it's kind of cool that you can do that, but it's almost like that kind of defeats the purpose.
Not necessarily, because what it does is if you don't have the face-to-face interaction that we have available to us, sometimes you can play across the globe or
Right.
across town, and with something in your hand. You can play on the go.
Yeah, that's
Just
true.
if someone's not available to you to play in your house, you can play across the internet.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. It just seems like for me, like board gaming is more about the interaction, like
absolutely.
the fun of playing with everybody and the interaction between everybody, not necessarily the game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the game helps, so obviously you don't want to play a crappy game. But I guess you're right. Like on the go, like if you're on a road trip or you're taking a bus somewhere, you got nothing else to do, instead of playing Jewelcraft or whatever these games on phones are. Or not Minecraft. Like the Jewel.
Oh, Bejeweled?
Yeah, Bejeweled and things like that on your
Sure.
phone. You can play like an actual cool game. So I guess that's cool.
And actually, Steam just released an app called Tabletopia.
Okay.
And a lot of board game companies are porting image captures or 3D captures of their pieces for their board games. So what it is it's a manipulatable 3D environment. And so let's say you want to play Carcassonne or something like that. You log in, it'll be set up already, and then you can manipulate the pieces. Just like any other 3D environment.
Right.
And then you just log in with your friends, and if you're playing with people across the country, then you're all looking at the same board. You don't have to Skype it. It's actually a 3D environment you can manipulate.
Cool. That's pretty sweet. My brother used to play some games on on his phone, but I don't remember which ones they were. But so yeah, I guess in some cases it's kind of cool, but I just think the interaction between people is what it's all about.
Yeah, for me, they lose a lot if you're not having that face-to-face interaction.
Mm-hmm.
But I still like practicing and playing with some of the games, especially Tigris and Euphrates. That app is amazing.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. I'll play that anytime, person or no person. It's a really great game and app. The only other thing I really wanted to get to, I thought was pretty interesting, was there's a company, a German publisher, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, but I just thought it was cool. Germany's absorbed 1 million refugees from Syria since 2014.
Right.
And so this company started a Kickstarter. Everything you donate to the Kickstarter, you don't get the game. They're sending the games to these Syrian refugee camps because they have nothing to do. They sit around, they wait to be absorbed into the society or get deported or whatever. So they're donating a game called Five to the refugee camp, and it's 5 different games that you can play with the components that it comes with.
Oh, okay.
So it's pretty inexpensive, and I guess they got the Kickstarter off the ground already. So if you now buy a copy of the game, every copy you buy, they'll send another copy to the refugee camps.
Oh, cool.
So it's just kind of something they can do while they're waiting around. It comes with many different languages for the rules. Farsi, Urdu, and Arabic. Also German.
Nice.
I just thought it was cool that, they were donating board games to the refugees, giving them something to do. Fuck.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Kind of wish I was in a refugee so I can just sit around and play board games all day. Fuck. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I remember waiting in line for Star Wars Episode 3 playing Mystery Rummy and...
Oh, nice.
Yeah, just kind of cool, just, sitting around waiting for something
right.
and have something to do.
Yeah, I mean, you have to shit in buckets, but...
Yeah, that would suck for the... Yeah. But yeah, at least you're getting free board games. That's cool Kickstarter.
Right?
Instead of a normal Kickstarter, it's kind of cool that they're donating to this. That's awesome. All right, well, let's get into the spotlight on a board game we played this week. And again, we convened at the local board game shop, and we played a couple of games. We played Spyfall again.
Yes, we did.
Which was awesome, because that game is so much fun. And then we played a new game that I've never played before, because I haven't played any games before, basically, but it was called Murano.
Murano.
And take it away, because I don't know how to explain it.
How to explain this game? It's like the board is set in it's like different islands, and everyone's trying to build up their islands, right? Or build onto the islands. You use your action pawns to get certain buildings that you're going to put on these islands. You claim some of them, and they give you certain powers. It's a worker placement game, but the interesting thing about the worker placement is you're using gondolas or boats.
Right.
And so you have approximately, 30 spaces around the board. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gondolas to choose from. So you move the gondola to the space on the board that you want to execute. Now the trick to this is you can never move any other gondola past an existing gondola.
Right. Yeah, because these gondolas are going around the board, so you have to move them in one direction, clockwise.
Right. Yeah, they're all going to move in the same direction.
Counterclockwise. And so if I move the one boat to space A and the boat behind me wants to go to space B, it can't because I'm blocking its way.
Exactly.
So, but you can move any boat. You don't have like a specific boat that you move. You can move any which one to any available space. Mm-hmm. That kind of sucks because one boat will move somewhere and the next one will move right behind it. And the next one will move right behind that. But nobody wants to move that first boat to the next space or to any space in front of it. It doesn't have to just go one space forward. If there's 6 spaces empty in front of it, it can move through all 6 spaces to whatever space is available. But so you'll get these
behind it can move until it does that.
Right. So you'll get these traffic jams, and you're
like,
damn, I want that blocking. Space. Yeah.
Yeah. So one thing we're doing in this game is we're building glass factories, which is an interesting mechanic, and this is a main way to get money in the game. Mm-hmm. And initially, money is very difficult to come by.
Yes.
It's a very scarce resource.
Yes, it is.
And so these glass factories assist you in getting more cash. The trade-off is every time one of your glass factories makes glass, it's going to cost you victory points.
Right, and you only start with 5 victory points.
Right.
So if you spend some of these, you're losing them, and you can't go past 0, like below 0.
Right, so you can't spend yourself past 0. You can't just make as much glass as you want.
Right.
But anytime you make glass is going to cost you victory points. I made $20, which is a lot of money.
Yeah,
towards
the
end of the game, though.
Right, yeah.
I mean, it was...
And you end up spending, what, like $7 of that?
It was...
Yeah.
We usually play this game with 3 players, and I feel like that's the best balance of this game.
Okay.
This time we played with 4 players.
Right.
And in the game you have like 3 or 4 different types of buildings.
Mm-hmm.
And anytime 2 of those stacks are depleted, then the game ends. So with 4 players, people building on all the islands, those stacks go fast.
Yes, they did. Yeah, they went pretty fast, and the islands filled up pretty fast. There was we only built there's 7 islands. We only built on 3 of them.
Right.
But all 3 of them were completely filled.
Yeah, everyone was building on the same islands.
Yep.
You can get victory points during the game by placing buildings.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to be building shops. You're going to be building special white buildings. I can't remember what they call them.
I forget what they call them.
And then you're going to be building red buildings, which are going to give you special ability cards.
Right, and then the yellow buildings, you don't actually place one of your counters on it. They have flags on it.
Right.
And those do something.
Yeah, those will be part of your victory conditions on certain cards. So the main way to win the game and get the most victory points is you're going to be buying leader cards. And leader cards are going to give you victory point conditions for the end of the game. So for instance, like you said, you have the yellow buildings with the flags on them, right?
Right.
So one of the conditions is, let's say this leader on this island, if there's more flags than shops, say, then you'll get so many victory points.
Right.
If there's as many shops as flags, you'll get this many victory points, and so on.
Right, or 1 victory point per flag.
Exactly, that's one of the
And
leaders.
each building has a different amount of flags. Like you can place a yellow building, it only has 1 flag, and you place another one, it has 3.
Right.
So if there's 5 yellow buildings on the island, and you each have 2, you have a bunch of victory points. Yeah, and one of the actions, there was one action was just get 2 free pieces of gold, which is a commodity,
and it's always taken.
Yeah, and then one is get a green building, get a yellow building, get a white building, all that stuff. Then there's a couple of build spaces. So you move a boat there, you can actually build the buildings that you've been getting. A few different places. One, you can buy cards, and those cards are the ones you're talking about, where you draw 3, you pick one, put the other 2 back, or if you want to pay more, you can get more. But those cards are like the objective cards, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is where the real meat of the game comes from, is those objective cards. Because certain objectives, like one of my objectives was, if you have the same number of, I think it was flags and red buildings on the island, then you'll get 12 victory points. So I was really trying to angle for that. And you got, 3 other people fucking with that balance, you know? So everyone's got their own objectives they're trying to eke out.
Yep.
On their certain islands that someone else is building on the island. You're like, no, I didn't. That's one too many red buildings that I,
Right. Yeah, I had one victory point per every building you have on an island, and 2 victory points for every opponent's building that was on an island. So I put just 2 of my own that somebody else was already building on. And then everyone else was building. I was like, cool, I'll get a few for me and a bunch for everybody else. Yeah, so... And one of mine was, if there are the same number, or 3 or less blue or red buildings, then you get, 10 victory points. Mm-hmm. And when we were all tallying at the end, there was 4, so I didn't get my 10 victory points. I was like, if I would have got those 10, I would have won. But then I ended the game, because I had just miscounted, because the island was shaped weird. Like, it went into this U shape, so I didn't see the building at the end of the U. I was like, oh man. So that sucks. But yeah, it was a really interesting game, with all the different mechanics. You moving the boats to get the actions, and using those actions to place the buildings, and then drawing cards and using those. So there was a whole lot of different things happening. Yeah.
So like you said, it took you a turn to get the game.
Yeah.
And just by us describing it right now, it probably sounds pretty abstract.
Yes.
But if you take a look at the board online, I'm sure you can see what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And it is really a lot of fun. It is a great game. It looks more complicated than it is. It's really easy to grasp, actually.
Yeah.
Everything is pretty...
it's fairly self-explanatory once you just look at it. Like, just looking at the board, like, there's one picture of, 1 piece of gold equals, 1 card, 2 equals, so, like...
Yeah.
You're just looking at that, like, oh, okay, I kind of understand what that's saying just by the picture on it.
Exactly.
So once you actually know the rules, like, you can only move the boat to an empty space in front of it, and, like, in this picture that I found online, there's 3 empty spaces in front of this one boat. So that boat can go to any one of those 3 spaces. It can't go past the boat that's blocking past that 3rd space, but except for the red boat, you can put on a space that is taken already. That's the only boat that can do it, is the one red boat. At first I thought, oh cool, you can move that past the boat, but you can't move it past another boat, you can move it to another boat.
Right. One thing that fucked me in that game we played was, early in the game, one thing that you have that you can trade in is your gondoliers. And your gondoliers, you place them on the islands to help. They're what secures your objective. Right. If you have your gondolier on the island and your card meets that objective, then you use that gondolier with that leader, and that says you've met that criteria.
Right. So when you're placing your buildings and stuff on the islands, you can't just at the end of the game be like oh, that that island has 10 flags, and my card says if there's 10 flags or more, I get this many victory points. You have to have a gondolier on that island.
Right. You have to
use that card on
claim.
that island. Yeah, exactly.
So I sold like 2 of my gondoliers near the beginning of the game because that'll give you some money, some spending cash. Like I said, it's a very
you really need some money in this game.
Limited resource at the beginning of the game. And so I was working towards my 3rd objective.
Oh yeah.
And then I was like, all right, here goes. And I was like, oh shit, I forgot I sold all my gondoliers at the beginning of the game. Now you have the option to buy them back throughout the game.
Right.
I just forgot to.
And that was the last turn of the game.
Yeah, that was the last.
So you couldn't. Yeah, so you couldn't actually buy them back and then spend them.
I fucked myself.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another aspect of the game because you have 6 or 5 leftover gondoliers because one of your gondoliers represents on your victory point track, and so you have 5 left, and so you want to place them on the island. So I had 3 objective cards. So I was like, okay, so I need 3 gondoliers to place on islands to complete these objectives. Like we said, you need 1 to stake the claim per card that you're playing. I was like, so the rest I could sell. So I ended up selling a few of them. I think I had 1 left over, and I should have sold them because I needed some money real bad towards the end. But yeah, that's another little aspect of the game is you can sell your gondoliers to this other island off to the side, and so lots of different little aspects of this game. It was really fun. I really liked it. Yeah,
it's a pretty solid Euro, not too complicated, and I can't recommend it enough.
Yeah, it was really good, really colorful. We were kind of complaining about the art on the box,
Yeah,
the art on the box I think is fine. It's just the art of the people. There's people on some of the things you can place,
right?
And the people just look really bad, super cartoony, super simple.
The buildings and backgrounds look great, but
I think that's all fine.
People are kind of corny looking.
Yeah, but it's very colorful, very very colorful, lots of colors. I mean, just the cover of the box has 10 different colors of buildings. Very cool. And you have to place roads in order to place buildings. That was another thing. Yeah. You can't just place your buildings anywhere. There are building squares for your buildings and then squares for roads. You can only place a building that has a road. Right. So that you have to, when you build, you can build 3 things. And if there are roads, you can place 3 buildings. If there are no roads, you have to place roads and buildings. Right. So a lot of times you have to place 2 roads in 1 building because it's in the future I want to build a building there.
Yeah, so there's a bit of tiling also in this.
Yes, yeah. You're placing tiles, you're moving the boats, you're
but other people can take advantage of the roads you've laid down. So
right, yeah.
It's kind of a
but the way the islands are shaped, you place 1 road. Really, in most places, you can only place 1 building next to it. Right. So you have to have 2 roads to place 2 buildings. There are some places where, you can place 1 road and place 2 buildings, which is great if you're.
Yeah, but that's building. Pretty limited.
Yeah, there's only a few of those.
And there's only 1 spot where you can lay 1 road tile and surrounded by 3 buildings.
Yeah. It's so if you're just sitting there like, oh, I'll place 2 roads in one building. Well, somebody else will I'm gonna place 1 building next to that road.
Thanks for laying that road for me.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Yeah, now I'll place 1 road in 2 buildings.
Exactly.
So yeah, you can definitely take advantage of other people in this game. It was a lot of fun, and we actually didn't score very highly in this game.
No,
I think the top score was 30 or something.
Yeah, it's not a crazy runaway game. I think who won that one, Nick?
Yeah,
Or
I think
Chris? I think it was Nick.
I think it was Nick.
But yeah, he had a pretty good strategy. He was earning victory points pretty much throughout the whole game.
Yeah.
But that might have cost him a little bit because we caught up with him towards the end of the game when we started doing our final scoring.
Yeah, and the 3 of us that, because I ended the game thinking cool, I'll get my last 10 points because I'll get all 3 of these cards, but I just didn't count that one colored building or shopper or whatever it was that my card said. But all 3 of us, me, you, and Chris, each had a card that we couldn't complete.
Yes.
And if all 3 of us completed it, Nick would have came in last.
Right.
So there was that. He won, but only because all 3 of us. I pretty much fucked you 2 by ending the game.
Right.
And so you could have bought back your gondolier and then did whatever action you needed to get that card if you had 2 turns. And Chris needed, I forget what he needed to do, but he couldn't because I ended the game. And
right.
I thought I ended it thinking I would win, and I fucked myself.
But that's a folly of board games.
Yes.
Live and learn.
Yep.
Play and learn.
Play and learn. So who designed the game?
Inca Brand and Marcus Brand. I don't know these guys at all.
Yeah, this isn't a numbered game by Aaliyah, is it?
No, it's not an Aaliyah.
Because it looks like an Aaliyah box.
Yeah, it does.
But I don't think that it is. I mean, the Aaliyah box where the picture and name are on one side and the picture kind of wraps to the front of one side, but the picture doesn't wrap to the other side.
I don't believe it's an Aaliyah. I don't remember seeing that logo on it.
Yeah, I don't. But yeah, this was a fun game, an easy game. It took us quite a while because Chris is the shop owner. He was trying to make sales and look up this thing for these magic cards for these kids that came in looking for magic cards. So he was busy going back and forth between people and customers and stuff.
That always seems to happen. We'll play with someone who works there, and we're just spend most of the game just waiting for them to come back to the customer table. So
it took a lot longer than it should have. I mean, it was still just a fun game, Yeah. And actually it gave me a chance to get to know Nick, because I'd never played with him before.
Great guy.
So, yeah. So I got to talk to him a little bit. And so, I mean, it all worked out. It was a fun time. And so, yeah, good day at the board game shop.
Amen.
Yeah, we talked about Murano, a few board game news. We talked about 2 different movies, The New Jungle Book and Bone Tomahawk. Yeah, we talked about those. We talked about some movie news, Power Rangers and stuff. And next week we will be talking about...
More college students.
Yes, more college students. And Captain America, Civil War.
Oh, and that too.
Yeah, that too. And maybe some movie news. We might just bypass that to just talk that movie because it's probably going to be a long conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we will reconvene at the board game shop this week and play some other game together so we can both talk about that.
Hopefully we'll be playing Nothing Personal this week.
Nothing Personal.
But we'll get back to you on that.
Okay. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/geequilibrium and facebook.com/geequilibrium1. You can find us on SoundCloud, which is soundcloud.com/geequilibrium. You can find us on YouTube at youtube.com/user/moviemastermike. And at all these things, we post our podcast on all these things just to get it out there to more people. And so comment, and subscribe on all those different avenues, and check out our posts on Facebook about the things that we play and we see, and just check us out, support us. So tune in next week when we talk about some other things. And until then, we are your hosts, Movie Master Mike
and Tabletop Tim,
reminding you to speak your geek
and balance your geek
with Geequilibrium.